one. Cedric Tillman, he has been, I mean, the last 2 weeks, at least with Jameis Winston, he's had 9 targets. This week he had 9 targets, 7 receptions for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns with Jameis Winston under center, which, mind you, Jameis Winston didn't play the full game last week. Not this week that just passed, the week before. He came in late. And he's had 21 targets under center from Jameis Winston. This is the kind of guy that you just love for fantasy when it comes to Jameis Winston. If you own a receiver, that's why Njoku gets a bump up. Cedric Tillman, though, can he be a wide receiver too going forward rest of the season, in your opinion? And do you trust him over Jerry Jeudy at this point too? I mean, where are you at? Is the hype too much? Do you need to see more from Tillman? Like, where are you at with him?
Well, number one, Jerry Jeudy was actually playing his best football with Deshaun Watson. And when Amari Cooper was there, he was getting volume. For the past few games, Jerry Jeudy, 3, 6, and 8 targets, and he's combined for 8 receptions. And that's Jerry Jeudy since week 5. Cedric Tillman now, in the past 2 games, 21 combined targets. I think 170, I'm at math right, 180 total yards. 15 receptions, 2 touchdowns. He's playing the second most snaps in the wide receiver room next to Jeudy. It just seems like he has a rapport with Jameis Winston. I think the narrative, I guess the word I'm looking for, Cedric Tillman was the wide receiver 4 to open the year. Well, who was he working most with quarterback-wise? Probably Jameis Winston.
Good point.
So there's a rapport there.
Good point.
From practice squad and playing the number 1 defense. And we are seeing this immediate rapport between these two guys. You got to remember, it was Elijah Moore, Cooper, and Jeudy as your top 3. You remove Cooper, in comes Tillman, in comes Winston, and you have this instant rapport. And we see this a lot when a backup quarterback comes in. They're going to target the guy that they practice with the most. So I think this is real. Now you got some iffy games like this Chargers game, like they're number 1 against enemy wide receivers, but this is also like Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, and Cedric Tillman. Tillman's a 3rd round pick. Elijah Moore, I forget where he was drafted, but his rookie year with the Jets, he looked like the real deal. And Jerry Jeudy was a 1st round pick out of Alabama. This is a talented wide receiver room. You got Njoku, you got Chubb, you got a quarterback who can throw it. Maybe they give the Chargers some fits. And there's some there's it's a tough run of matchups, but I don't think Jameis Winston gives a damn about matchup. I think Jameis Winston is just going to go out there. It's not like he's playing for a starting job. I think he knows what his role is. So every time he gets an opportunity, he's just going to go out there, have fun, and throw. He's like Flacco at this point. He's just going to go throw the football. I don't give a shit if you're number 1. Against passing, like I'm going to go out there and I'm going to throw the ball to the open guy. I have nothing to lose, and that's Jameis Winston. So yeah, I'm in on Tillman. I think he's the number 1 priority player on waivers this week.
Yeah. I mean, Elijah Moore too. 12 targets last week. I mean, 8 catches, 85 yards. Like I'm happy to see it for him. I think Cedric Tillman is probably a flex play and has wide receiver 2 upside, probably low end wide receiver 2 upside. But I mean, you practically got him probably for nothing. So I mean, I expect Tillman to play well going forward. Yes, tough matchup against the Chargers. Then he gets the Saints. He's got Pittsburgh and Denver, Pittsburgh, and then he has KC and Cincinnati. But I mean, we're not talking, should you trade him? Should you not trade him? I mean, somebody may fall in love with him and then maybe, you do trade him. But I like him rest of the season for sure.
And I get this is not going to be maintained. At least I mean, we've seen weirder stuff, but in the past 2 games, Cedric Tillman's the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy points per game. He's averaging 23.5 fantasy points per game through 2 games.
Yeah. And I mean, targeted on 22.4% of his routes. That's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, Tillman, good for him getting his opportunity and making the most out of it. Since we're talking